Fantastic, Dahlia. One day I want to come to a place called Hoi An, not far from where you are. I checked out a beautiful retreat center there called, I think it's called Osaka Retreat Center. It's just a beautiful place right there on the water, on the backwaters in Hoi An. And I wanted to host a retreat there. Colin from Sydney, welcome. Robert from Sydney. So we've got a little bit of a heavy presence from the Far East, the Pacific, Australia, New Zealand, Pacific area. So Hoi An, yes, it's amazing, isn't it? Yes, I want to be able to host a retreat there. We'll see. That's on my radar. I have an intention. It's just gorgeous. It's right there amongst a beautiful farm, like it's like an urban farm. They grow completely organic stuff there. So imagine they have a school for plant-based cooking, and right in front of this beautiful resort, they've got the actual farms, completely organic farms, and then you've got this resort and you've got the backwaters behind this place. Oh, just a magical place. So then the COVID happened, and so I had to kind of put that on pause, but one day I do wish to come back. But I understand that COVID has been pretty harsh on you guys there in Vietnam, so we're just kind of waiting and watching. Hopefully this second, third, I don't know what, I've lost count of the waves now, but hopefully this thing will kind of die out. People will be immunized, or they'll get resistance one way or the other, and then so we can start convening, we can start traveling, doing all those wonderful things that we wish to do as a spiritual community. So anyway, so Jay says, hi Jay, sending you blessings from Oakland, California. Wow, we've got a few people from Oakland here. Cool. Very close to home. Chicago, Kelly. Paula is joining us from Worcester, Mass. Originally from Tipmuk territory. So I'm assuming that's Native American territory, First Nation people. Where is Tipmuk territory? Paula, would you please tell us a little bit, educate me on that? Dahlia's joining. I hope you will be able to do the retreat there soon. What's the name of the place again? So I think it's called Osaka Retreat Center. Something, I think it starts with an O. I think it's Osaka. It's some Japanese theme retreat center. Yeah, that's right outside Hoi An. It's by the old town. This Hoi An has got a little bit of the modern, the new place, and the old town. So it's actually past the old town. Like I said, it's in that little farmland. You know how Hoi An has got the pottery village, the organic farming village, and I think there's got one more thing. I forget the third village, but it's in the organic farming village, this place I'm talking about. Debu is here from Toronto. Debu, by the way, I know you've recommended us to do a virtual retreat, so that's on the cards. I have lots of people who are interested in the virtual retreat, so it's going to be a virtual retreat at home for you guys. I'll just lead that from here, and you guys can just follow along from there in the convenience of your home, and so we'll do that. So Tipmuk is Central Mass. Yes, so I figured it was there. I know that place was very, very rich. It's got a lot of history, lots of First Nation people, lots of tribe, and lots of culture there. So thank you, Paula. Thank you for joining us. So here's the flow, guys. Anybody here for the very first time at my Wednesday night? We've been doing this for, I think this is my 79th episode since the beginning of the pandemic. We haven't missed a beat. We've been doing this continuously since March of 2020. That's when I got myself a Zoom account, and then of course later in the year, towards December, Insight Timer started this live streaming, live classes, and so I jumped onto this bandwagon, which was able to beautiful integration of people who've been following my work, my audio tracks, my recorded content, and there's some of you who have been watching me joining my soul tribe, as I call this, from Zoom. We merged it all together and we brought to this. So I do it twice a week, Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Pacific and Sunday morning 9 a.m. Pacific. And so I see that there's some of you here for the very first time. So here's the flow, folks. So my Wednesday nights are a full 1 hour set. Sundays are only half hour. So this 1 hour set, we're going to do 4 things. I'm going to start with breathwork. So that's a way to bring and rein in all of your horses, all of your sensory organs, distractions, everything that's going on the outside. we're going to bring it into the here and now. So we'll take it inwards. We focus is going to be on the inside. We take it into our heart space, and I'll lead you through a meditation. And then I'm going to talk about things off the heart. I'm going to tell you some stories. I'm going to read you a poem today. I'm going to talk about some wisdom nuggets, and then we'll get into Q&A. Okay, so that's broadly 4 parts to my thing, 15 minutes each approximately, but sometimes it might go a little bit, one thing might be more than the other. We'll just roll with the flow. How does this sound for a flow, from, especially for those of you who are joining for the first time? Give me a thumbs up. Yes, you like that? Anything else you want me to talk about? Anything else you want me to alter? This has been something that we've been doing since, like I said, for the last 15 months. All of my sessions, by the way, all of my Wednesday nights are recorded. They're on my YouTube channel, because I know that some of you, especially in Europe, UK, Middle East and Africa, cannot make it. It's an odd time, 2, 3, 4 in the morning. So I make it a point to record all of my Wednesdays, and I post it on my YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/jchodagam. You can Google my name, Jay Chodagam, and it'll pull up my website, my YouTube channel. So you can go back and listen to all of that. You can actually, if you like something in this set today, you can go back and revisit, and you want to practice it, kind of play it back at your own leisure, you're welcome to do that. Boa noite from Brazil. Como vai, Isabel? Happy to hear from you. So great, folks. So that's the flow. I think let's just go ahead and roll with it. So I want you to please start off by either going ahead and closing your eyes, or just downshifting ears, whatever you feel comfortable. I put my hands in what is called Vayu Mudra, which is I'm touching the tip of my index finger to my thumbs, and I just rest that on my lap. If you're lying down, you're welcome to do that. Just put them next to your body on either side of your torso. And if you are seated on a chair which has that armrest, you're welcome to go ahead and lay your arms on the armrest together. I want you taking a deep breath in. We're going to release with the chant of Om, nice and long, at least for a count of 10, if not more, together. Let's go ahead and two more times. Together, taking a deep inhale into the belly, not into the chest, please. And one last time, third round. Just feel into the shift of energy, feel into the shift of how your thought processes have slowed down, and just notice. Feel into your body and to see how you feel different in just within 5 minutes of you coming in here. By the way, my friends, this breath work, when you elongate your breath, when you manipulate your exhale to release it nice and slow, you're increasing the oxygenation of the body. You're relaxing, you're reducing your blood pressure. You're also calming your vagal nerve. The vagal nerve is the longest nerve in your body. It starts at the top of your brain, goes all the way down to the torso, and wraps around into your pelvic area. Now, this is the part of the nervous system that is either responsible for fight or flight, but also as you're calming it, it is activating your parasympathetic nervous system. This is your rest and rejuvenate part of your nervous system. So simple exercises like this, which I'm going to teach you tonight, are going to help you to calm your heart rate, to reduce your blood pressure, to reduce your anxiety. When you feel like this panic attack, simple things like this, just elongating your breath, elongating it with this Om chant, which also has the effect of creating a vibration in your entire body, which you can feel right now, maybe through a tingling sensation, maybe through just a sense of lightness, clarity in your mind, whatever it may be. Each one of us responds to the calming effects slightly differently, but certainly you can be feeling the difference now. Now we're going to move on to the second exercise, which is an inhale for a count of 5 through the nostril. And when I ask you to breathe in, please folks, I want to see your belly rise and collapse, not your chest. The more you use your diaphragmic breathing, the more you're going to activate your parasympathetic nervous system. The more you're going to activate your rest and rejuvenate part of your nervous system. And the converse of it is that if you're breathing into your chest, shallow breathing, that's going to be a stress response. You're going to be producing cortisol. So inhale for 5, exhale for 5 through the nostrils, inhalation through the mouth, exhalation. Let's do this together. There's a lot of science around inhaling through the nostrils, but I want you to just now focus, just trust me, there's so much science there, but I just want you to just not get carried away by all of the data and all of the heady stuff. Feel into this experience. I want you to say, how do you feel as you're doing this right now? Even inhalations through the nostrils for 5, exhalations through the mouth for 5. Now, I want you to extend this one step now. 5 in, 5 hold, 5 exhale, 5 hold. So this is called box breathing. So think of it as 4 sides of a square or a box. Let's go ahead and take an even breath. Inhale, holding, exhale, holding together. Exhale us through the mouth, inhale us through the nostril, and then hold. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. And hold. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. And hold. And this time as you inhale, taking a deep inhale, and I'll ask you to hold longer. Trust me, you can hold much longer than you think you can. But if you feel uncomfortable at any point and you can't hold as long as I tell you to, just go ahead and exhale and go back to the 5 and 5, the 5 box breathing I talked about. So for the rest of us, I want you to take in another. If you go ahead and exhale and start again with the 5 inhale. And hold this time at the top of the lungs when the lungs are full. And I want you to squeeze the muscles in your buttocks. Squeeze the muscles in your hamstrings, the quadriceps. Squeeze the muscles in your calves, ankles, all the way down to the feet. Let's now work our way up from the torso. Abdomen muscles, squeeze and let go. Chest muscles, the back muscles, squeeze and let go. Shoulders, squeeze. Biceps, triceps, forearms, squeeze and let go. Neck muscles, squeeze and let go. Face muscles, squeeze and let go. At the top of your head, scalp, make a frown, let go, and exhale, relax. Inhale and hold. Hold till I tell you. Trust me, you can hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and exhale, let go. Inhale, one full cycle of breath in and out. And this time at the bottom of the lungs, I want you to hold till I tell you. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and inhale deep into the belly. I don't want to see your chest rising, collapsing, please. I want this to be a diaphragmatic abdominal breathing. You're going to be using the muscle that can regulate the space in your chest, in your abdominal cavity, that helps you to open up your lungs, open up all of the tissues. They could be shriveled up, not used. But when you breathe nice and deep like this, you're activating every nook and corner of your lungs. So please learn to breathe like this, using your diaphragm, the muscle that regulates your breath, the muscle that regulates the space in your abdominal cavity, which automatically regulates the pace of thoughts in your brain, and it's going to regulate the speed of activity, your heart rate, your blood pressure, etc., etc. So a lot of benefits to this. Now, we're going to move on to the next and the final exercise for our pranayama, our breathwork set, the life force exercises that we begin all of my Wednesday nights with. And this is called Vastrika. Okay, now Vastrika, here's how it goes. I want you to please put your palms up. The focus here is going to be palms up, palms open. You can't see it on my camera, but just believe me that they're up. It's in a Y formation, just like in YMCA. And when I ask you to start, the focus is going to be on the exhale. You're going to bring it down, make a fist, and exhale with a sharp burst that emerges, that starts from your belly. Okay, it's going to come out as a sharp burst. This is what it's going to look like. Don't do it just yet. Just watch me as I'm going to do this. Okay, so eyes closed, palms facing out. We're going to start like this. Okay, focus is exclusively on the exhale. Don't worry. When you know how to give, the universe will teach you how to get. So you don't worry about inhalation. The focus is only, and it initiates at the diaphragm in your abdomen, comes out as a short burst, and then you just keep doing that. We're going to do for a count of 7, take a break, second round of 7, take a break, third round. So 3 rounds, 3 sets of 7 each. Together, let's go ahead and put your arms up, eyes closed, and start. Take a break. Let's allow the regular cycle of breath in, out, exhale. Take a full cycle of breath in and 3/4 of a breath out. And let's go into second round. Arms up and count of 7 together. And take, exhale, let go, inhale, full cycle of air in, out, in, 3/4 of breath out, arm raised, third round and final for 7 together. And we are done. Just go back to regular breathing, abdominal, 5 in and 5 out, in through the nostrils, out through the mouth. Just notice as you're dropping in, just resting your body, resting your arms. Notice the pace of thoughts in your mind. Notice how present you've become. Notice a sense of buzz that you may be feeling, tingling in your body. Notice the air that has gone into your bloodstream and it's oxygenated and it's reaching every nook and cranny, every cell in your body. You may be feeling a sense of being revitalized, rejuvenated, alive, just in 15 minutes. That's the beauty of breathwork, pranayama. Pranayama is the breath of life. It's taking the universal energy, channeling it in by using techniques to alter, elongate, and modify our breath. And just feel into the sensations in the body through this 15-minute set. Now, with your eyes closed, I want you to follow along as I guide you now from the space that you've created, this internalization that you're feeling. Your mind has become present in the here and now. The body's become calm. Your breath has become regular. And you might be feeling a sense of lightness already in your being. Now, with your eyes closed, I want you to visualize a transparent sphere. This sphere represents your consciousness. The inner surface of the sphere represents your mind, a screen that is all around you. You, the self-aware self. Inside at the center of the sphere, imagine a ball of light. This ball of light represents your spiritual heart, the core of your being. Connecting the ball of light, which is your heart, to the surface of the sphere, which is your mind, is a line along which there is a movable eye. And this eye represents your intellect. You, the self-aware self, can move the eye of your intellect along the line, sometimes using the mind in a rational process of thinking, and you can create images on the screen of your mind to think things through. Or you can move the eye to the other end of that line, the self-aware self, to bring yourself to the inner eye, down to the heart of your being, the core of your consciousness, from where intuition, that is, your intuitive feelings, can arise. Here at the heart of your being, you perceive, you feel. And on the surface of the sphere, the thinking is thought processes. And you, the self-aware self, can easily move in between these two, using the intellect in either mode, the rational mode or the intuitive mode. The rational mode tends to require much thought generation. And the intuitive mode tends to require a quiet mind, so there can be clear awareness of what is being perceived, felt at a deeper, more subtle level. So notice right now, what is it that you're feeling drawn to? Is it into the state of being or into the state of thinking? And wherever you find yourself naturally being gravitated to, I want you to stretch your comfort zone and go to the other end of that spectrum. So if you were at the being state, go to the thinking state and just notice what emerges on the screen of the mind. And vice versa, if you were in the thinking mind, going to the state of stillness, to the heart, to the intuitive, to the knowingness. And notice how that might feel. And then come back to your comfort zone, whatever that case may be. And just rest there, watching and witnessing, not trying to change anything, not trying to block anything coming through. Neither am I trying to resist anything that is emerging. Just watching. Comes and it goes. And I'm still here. The observer. From the state of pure consciousness at the heart of my being, I recognize that it's a place of safety. It's a place of security. And I feel very comfortable. Don't have to pretend. Don't have to prove anything. And I don't have to explain myself to anybody. I just am. Very comfortable in my original, eternal state of being awake to myself as a spirit. A spirit that occupies this body, this costume, to express itself in this drama we call life, on the stage that we call planet Earth. And in just 1 second, knowing that I'm a visitor to this planet, I'm an actor putting on this costume, I'll let go of all of these temporary identities and tune into my original home of light, the land of nirvana. Nirvana, by definition, it means the land beyond sound. It's a realm of light. Vast, unending expanse of golden red light. This is the home of the souls, the backstage for us actors. And in this backstage, I'm in the presence of my supreme mother and father, my supreme parent, the Great Spirit, the supreme being of light. The Supreme Being is unconditional. It accepts me exactly as I am. Embraces all parts of me. And it's constantly radiating love, powerful healing love. The Supreme Soul is love. And in the presence of the Supreme Love, I remember my original value, which is I am love. I bask under this supreme light. As if I'm inside the womb of my mother, completely held. Knowing I will be okay. Completely accepted. I let the light of the Supreme Being percolate through every cell, every nook and cranny, such that there's no traces of resentment, anger, jealousy, fear, confusion, worry, anxiety. Just let all of that wash away under this cascade of love. And now, as we are soaking in, taking in this light, let us become conduits to bring this light into the world, into some of the dark corners where people may be experiencing a disconnection from themselves, with the Supreme Being, with Mother Nature. And I want you to please go ahead and bring your palms up as if you were sending a blessing, sending it out to the world. And imagine this as if you were a mirror that's reflecting the rays of the Supreme Sun. The light is coming from the soul, Supreme Source, to you, and through you being reflected out to those people, places, or person that needs that light right now. Sending light, sending hope, sending blessings of well-being can help lift the soul. Just give them that positive energy, that strength of courage, that they can get up on their own feet and set out to follow their dreams, their hopes. Now put your palms together in prayer position. And let's rub our palms, creating nice chi, warmth of prana, kindling the life force as we feel the warmth being ignited between our palms, then I want you to please take one palm and cup it on one eye each. Both palms completely covering your eyeballs, your eye socket, and bless yourself. Let this prana flow into you. May obstacles in my life be removed. May sorrow in my life be removed. May I experience clarity of the mind, health in my body, and wellness in my entire being. And whenever you're ready, bring them back to prayer position at your heart center. Take a bow of gratitude for everyone and everything that made this experience possible. And just tune into yourself and ask yourself, how do you feel right now? And if you express that, how you're feeling right now, in one word, what would that be? And if I want you to please share that one word in the chat window. So let us all know how you're feeling at this end of this beautiful breath work and the meditation exercise. Feeling good, feeling realigned, indomitable. Wow, it's perfect. It's your screen. Stacy's feeling hopeful, Michelle's feeling relaxed, Susan is feeling cleansed, embraced, content, hopeful, relieved, fantastic, relaxed and happy, beautiful. Folks, now I want you to go back into the state of whether you want to keep your eyes closed or open. I'm going to read you a passage from one of my favorite authors. Rachel Naomi Remen is a doctor here at UCSF in San Francisco. And in this, I'm going to read an excerpt from her book. It's Kitchen Table Wisdom, and it says, "Only service heals." In that, Rachel says, if helping is an experience of strength, fixing is an experience of mastery and expertise. Service, on the other hand, is an experience of mystery, surrender, and awe. A fixer has the illusion of being causal. A server knows that he or she is being used and has a willingness to be used in service of something greater, something essentially unknown. Fixing and helping are very personal. They are very particular, concrete, and specific. We fix and help many different things in our lifetimes, but when we serve, we are always serving the same thing. Everyone who has ever served through the history of time serves the same thing. We are servers of the wholeness and the mystery of life. The bottom line, of course, is that we can fix without serving, and we can help without serving, and we can serve without fixing or helping. I think I would go so far as to say that fixing and helping may often be the work of the ego, and service, the work of the soul. They may look similar if you're watching from the outside, but the inner experience is different. The outcome is often different too. Our service serves us as well as the others. That which uses us strengthens us. Over time, fixing and helping are draining, depleting, Over time, we burn out. Service is renewing. When we serve, our work itself will sustain us. Service rests on the basic premise that the nature of life is sacred, that life is a holy mystery which is an unknown purpose. When we serve, we know that we belong to life and to that purpose. Fundamentally, helping, fixing, and service are ways to see life. When you help, you see life as weak. When you fix, you see life as broken. When you serve, you see life as whole. From the perspective of service, we are all connected. All suffering is like my suffering, and all joy is like my joy. The impulse to serve emerges naturally and inevitably from this way of seeing. Lastly, fixing and helping are basis of curing, not of healing. In 40 years of chronic illness, I have been helped by many people and fixed by many great people, great doctors who did not recognize my wholeness. All that fixing and helping left me wounded in some important and fundamental ways. Only service heals. This is by Dr. Rachel Naomi Remen, and the title of this passage is Only Service Heals. Let that sit for a second. Let it percolate. Where do I come from? Am I approaching life from a place of service? Or am I trying to fix? Am I trying to problem solve? Do I see something as broken? Do I see something that requires my intelligence? Or is it something that requires me to be present and see the wholeness of that perfect thing that requires me to just share my state of being? Share from that place of being a channel, an instrument, a conduit where I am bringing in the universal energy from that greater source that is working through me, using me as an instrument. And in the process of using me is rejuvenating me, healing me, making me more complete and connected with myself. So folks, what did you learn today? What do you want to take away today? What is it that you still struggle with? Go ahead, tell me, put it in the chat window and let me know. What is your epiphany that you're taking away from today? So Stacy's saying, being of service to others could be just the thing to release this depression. Absolutely, Stacy. And in fact, there's actually scientific work that's happening in that space. When you have returning war veterans who come with PTSD, what they're doing here in California, here in the Bay Area, in Oakland, we have an organization that is pairing these PTSD-ridden victims of war with children who are experiencing PTSD, right? So completely different circumstances. So these PTSD from children is because of their domestic circumstances, because of their violent neighborhoods or violent communities that they live in or homes that they come from. And they notice when they do this mentoring process, the PTSD in those war veterans has a noticeable difference. That's one experiment. The second thing, which was a recent thing that I've read, again happening here in the Bay Area, and I'm sure it's happening in other parts of the world, but I'm just privy to what's happening around me. They take children who are depressed, who have some sort of anxiety disorder, and then they pair them with birds, animals that are hurting, that are painful, that need some healing. And so they do this one-on-one pairing to let this child watch and tend to that creature heal. And they notice that when somebody shares, comes from the place, even if they are wounded emotionally, but when they take the time to show some amount of compassion, some amount of care, some amount of concern for somebody else's well-being, they notice that their depression, their anxiety, their own sense of loss, their emotional turbulence is healed. So indeed, absolutely, when you become somebody that you find a way to serve, I oftentimes use this analogy that you might have heard in my previous sessions, that of siphoning, right? When you have something that you feel like you need, whatever that's something that you need love, you need attention, you need care, you need somebody to listen to you, you need some peace. Go and try to exhibit to somebody exactly that which you're looking for, right? So I've used this analogy in the previous case where I used to be riding motorcycles as a teenager in India. And I remember I told you that I used to empty my gas tank. I used to run out of gas on the way, pull my motorcycle, put it on the side of the street, hitch a ride to the closest gas station, fill a tank, but I need to use a siphon tube. Remember what I showed you? I had to suck the gasoline from the tank, and then when it comes to the right to the tip, I put it into my gas tank, and then it transfers the whole thing. I need to be that force that triggers that reaction, that activates that energy, that which I'm seeking for. Let me find somebody to give it to. And notice how the universe will work through you, will use you as a channel to be able to replenish you, rejuvenate you, and make you feel complete and whole. Absolutely. So Stacy, that which you feel you need most, find a way to give it away. Give it away without any expectations. Share that and notice what it does for you. So Sieglinde is saying, serve as much as you want to heal in yourself. Absolutely, absolutely. And then also taking the time, like I always say, there's one adage that I like to add to this thing, which is you can only pour what's in your teacup. So taking the time to rejuvenate, to refill your teacup, that's your quiet time as well, is important. Yes, giving is important, but also knowing when there's a time for you to receive and for you to clear that cauldron, clear the chalice, allow it to be replenished, right? Especially if you're in a field is of service, anything that's humanitarian, where it requires you to meet with other individuals. People come to you not just for some solution, some physical task, some sort of a nugget, a widget, what have you. But there's always a spiritual exchange that's happening, right? Especially if you're in the human services industry, there is an unsaid thing that people are drawing from your energy. They're taking from your spiritual cup. So taking the time to replenish that is very important, which is what you're doing here. So I commend you for that. You're coming to the spiritual circle. You're taking the time we meditated we did breathwork for about a combined time of about 45 minutes. So this is filling your teacup. Your quiet time early in the morning, right? Remember what I said, the acronym RPM, Rise, P, Meditate. First thing in the morning, best time. The mind is quiet. The calm mind is ready to receive, is ready to be able to set your tone for the day. Put yourself in a direction, set an intention. Beautiful time to meditate, beautiful time to set the intention, to nourish that nascent energy, take it in the direction that you want to. Your subconscious mind is still awake, it's not yet completely rested. Great time to pepper it, to seed it with whatever that intentions, positive thoughts, affirmations. And then you watch the rest of the day. You all, many of you I know, watch my day, listen to my meditation, wake up meditation to create an amazing day. There's thousands of people around the globe who listen to that every single day. And I'm very grateful for that. But the point is, that's how I wake up, right? First, tune into the light, replenish your body, set an intention, be grateful, find something to be grateful, and go out into the day, and you'll notice it'll be an amazing day. So let's see. Nita says, I remember doing that as a young person. Yes. Right? The siphoning thing. Paula's saying, you helped me to see that when service is characterized as less than, there is a lack of awareness that the servant is a spiritual being indeed. The servant attitude, the servant leadership, that's a very, very important thing, which, by the way, a lot of people in the mainstream industry are beginning to embrace that. Simon Sinek, I don't know if you know, this is one of the guys that I listen to. I get really motivated by hearing his talks and listening to his TED Talks, and read his books, etc. He emphasizes this idea of servant leadership, right? The greatest leaders always eat last. He's got a number of beautiful talks on that on YouTube. You can Google him, by the way. So that's something that greatly inspires me. So then Paul is saying, but don't they go to want to flow through the tube? It seems disrespectful if I assume they want me through the tube. It's not you. And that's the thing, right? There's nothing that's part of you that actually gets taken away. That's nothing that's part of you that ever gets actually added, So the state of wholeness, if you remember that word, a wholeness is something, by definition, is something that you cannot take away from. You cannot diminish, you cannot undermine it, right? Neither can you, on the flip side, add to it, somehow aggrandize it, right? You cannot make it grow, you cannot make it rise, etc., etc. All of that is really, the work of the ego, right? That makes me feel like I've, risen from something, or I've fallen to some level, positive or negative, whatever the case may be. But what we are indeed doing is that we are being the channels for the energy, right? So as we, the end of my meditation, I said, sometimes we don't know how to give from our own energy. That's okay. But as we're tuning into source, guess what? I'm becoming a conduit. I'm becoming a mirror that is reflecting the positive state of being that I'm experiencing right now, that inspires somebody else, that is creating that energy vortex, that is creating that sensory, the positive state of mind, that is giving hope, that's giving a sense of courage, that giving that strength, that giving that just that amount of positive affirmation to somebody, setting an example for somebody to say that they can believe in them. They too can do that. They too can experience it. They too can connect with their wholeness. So indeed, we are actually complete, right? So that's one of the things I always say, that I'm not a half. I'm not looking for a better half, and neither should you be. We're all wholes, but we're here to express and experience. And then the question might come up, then if I'm complete and whole, then what do I need to do? I can just sit and meditate all day, sit in the corner and just while away till at the end of my days? No. There is something about beautiful creative expression. We all have our little nuances of how we channel that divine energy, that creative energy, that life energy that is coming through us. And in that variation is the beautiful mosaic that we create, that art. So therefore, folks, you see how creativity is so connected with spirituality, with your presence, with your being here and now. So try that. Experience that, and notice the people around you will start seeing a difference. And you don't even have to say anything. That's the beauty of it. Just your felt presence will make them feel better about themselves, will help them to get onto the virtuous cycle themselves. Right? We have this uncanny ability to take people on a virtuous, positive cycle or a negative, vicious cycle, right? We don't have to say anything. Mood tends to have that. We have this thing called mirror neurons, that you can feel the presence of somebody, you can notice what they're going through, and it affects your mood. So let us become the positive energies, positive influences, right? The uplifting resources. When I say uplifting, really, like I said, is, it's an element of ego, but you know what I mean. If somebody could use that help, somebody talked about depression and anxiety and helping people stand up and, getting out of that PTSD. It starts with me becoming connected with myself, me tuning into source, and then silently radiating my presence, my aura, right? My light. Deepak says, peace, equanimity, and homeostasis. Great, yes. That feels right, Paula says. Thank you. Pata says, what is the author's name for the TED Talks? The TED Talk is one of the things, but he's written a number of books. Simon Sinek. I'm going to type it. So this guy's the one, he's the one who talks a lot about servant leadership, right? And so let's see. Yep, every morning Nita says. And let's see, what other questions, comments do you guys have? Sikland says, what you're looking for is what you are. Prashanti is saying, start with why is a great book by Simon. Yes, he's got that. He actually, basically, he hit the global scene. Like, he took off as a global inspirational speaker through that TED Talk. Always start with the question why. He's got this beautiful TED Talk that has got millions of views, and definitely, Prashanti, thank you for bringing that up. Paula says, what's your take on the idea that alignment produces art, the best aesthetics? Completely. And that's what, by the way, my coaching lately has been on that. I do one-on-one coaching, and I've just had a session yesterday with a wonderful lady from the East Coast. I don't know if you're listening to it. I don't want to say out any names, but it's really about that. It's about really tuning in. It's about finding my unique DNA of my soul. What is my expression? What is my tune that I'm trying to put out? And what is the way in which I want to bring that out? How do I want to show up in the world, right? And that does not come from looking on the outside, my friends. It comes from really connecting with myself, feeling the sense of wholeness, and saying, what is that music that is waiting to be sung from my being, right? What is that? When I say music, I mean it could be any form of expression, right? And when you come from the place of expression, from that state of heartfulness, from the place of being centered and wholesome, it's art. It is something that has beauty that comes with it, right? The most mundane things. It could be the food that you make. It could be the buildings that you build. It could be the code that you write, or it could be just helping somebody with a mundane task, but it'll be so artfully, tastefully done that it feels like poetry, it feels like music. And for you, as the one that is emoting that, as the one that is channeling that energy, doing the dance, if you will, it feels so natural. The dance itself is the reward. You don't need any affirmation, you don't need acknowledgement, you need somebody's approval. No. Doing for the sake of doing itself is a reward, because you enjoy it so much. So yes, I encourage you. And this is one of the things I tell you, in the modern education system, it's so disconnected from connecting with our state of wholeness and expressing ourselves, bringing that music through, bringing the dance through, right? Singing that song off your heart. Please do not die with that heart stuck in your head or in your heart, right? So let it find a way to express that music that you're here to play. And that's an art form. And that'll make you feel rejuvenated. That'll make you feel years, decades younger. Right? Find a way to give it to the most unexpected places. You'll be surprised that way you can find a means of exercising this as a service. People want to see you come alive. Right? That's one of the beautiful side effects of this. It's not just what you do, but the light that it brings on your face when you're doing what you're meant to be doing. What lights me up? Stephanie's asking. Oh my God, need I say any more? Haven't you seen what lights me up? Folks, okay, Stephanie, just to put it more simply, being inspired and inspiring others, that lights me up. I can go without food, I can go without water, I can go without sleep. There are times when I go on these long walks and I'm listening to a podcast, I'm listening to one of my favorite audiobooks, or I'm having a conversation with a friend who's, you know how you have friends of different, varieties, but there's these people, my soul tribe. These are the people that rejuvenate me by talking. We go into these deep things about what is igniting their being, right? What are some of their stories? What are some of their things that they're going through? What are some of the challenges that they're working through? Time will cease to exist. And when you're in the midst of those kindred spirits, my teacup is being filled. My lotus is blossoming, right? And to me, that's important. So my meditation is important, right? My time when I'm out in nature is important. Kindred spirit, so my kinship. And of course, exercise, so finding a way to, the body has an incredible way when you exercise it, the endorphins that it creates, incredible way of reconnecting. Your mind changes. It is like a flush to the brain, no matter how heavy, no matter how depressing all the news is, whatever's going on around you. So I actually published a PDF, a little handout for you guys. I know many of you who've been part of my Soul Tribe from the beginning of the pandemic have received it. If you haven't received it, please go to my website. It's a free handout. It's the 5 things to rejuvenate your body, mind, and soul during the pandemic. The 5 steps to wellness during the lockdown. So I talk about these things. I break down each of these areas. Exercise. What are simple things you can do sitting at home under lockdown orders? I know things are opening up in some countries. Who knows? Maybe we'll regress. It's a useful thing to keep. Some of my meditation exercises, right? Sleep. I talk about the things. I give you the little nuggets. So it's freely available on my website. It's Find Within. So that's spelled as FINDWITH.in. Okay, so the period is before the in. Find Within /offer, right? So that's a thing that you can just go, you need to put in your email address and you'll get a PDF. And so those are 5 things that help me to rejuvenate myself. And you're welcome to go and try it. So folks, that brings us to the top of the hour. That's what lights me up. Thank you all for holding space. Thank you for your donations. It means a lot to me. Thank you for sharing your presence here. So I'm doing my first retreat this coming weekend, so I will not be present for the Sunday morning, which I usually do at 9 a.m. Pacific. I'm going to be away in Marin County with a group full. It's a completely sold out retreat. So talk about holding space with kindred spirits. So I'll be doing that. So I'll be back with you all next Wednesday. Also want to do a quick shout out that I have one-on-one coaching for those of you who want to spend time with me, professional career coaching, life coaching, or just even health. Go ahead and hit that little icon you see on the bottom right corner of your screen with my picture and the word live. So that'll show you how to get to my coaching, and then you can go ahead and sign up and pick a time and day that works best for you. Folks, until I see you all next again, same time, same place next week. Oh, by the way, go ahead and join my circle. I've got a circle on this app called Meditate with Jay. It's just a great way for you guys to share things that you want to talk about, ask questions, suggest topics that you want me to talk about. So we have a beautiful community. It's my Soul Tribe. And that's just, I invite you, those of you who are not part of it, that's a great way for you to communicate with me when we are not in these live sessions. So Paula says, thank you. This felt great. Good evening to you. I appreciate that, Paula. Thank you, Susan. I know you've been part of my Soul Tribe for a long, long time. I appreciate you. I appreciate everyone being here. The background choir and the music, yes, this fills me. This is one of my favorite artists. His name is Lyle Phoenix, and I bring him into he's from down under. He's down in Melbourne, Australia, but I make him part of my Soul Tribe. I've purchased his music, I've asked his consent, and I record it, and I like to play it. And just such a soul lifting atmosphere that he creates through his beautiful, beautiful music. He's been meditative for 40 years and clearly comes through in his tunes. So folks, until I see you all again, either on my recorded tracks or on this live channel or at a retreat to come up, I wish you well. I wish you be happy. I wish you stay strong and be safe out there. Take care.